Okay, I think that's about it. Maybe one piece of news: the Michigan quarterback battle. We kind of referenced it earlier a little bit, but kind of what they've talked about there is their decision that is not really a decision. They're going to give the
Yeah.
incumbent, and I just forgot his name,
Cade McNamara.
Cade
McNamara.
McNamara. Yes, he's going to start game one against Colorado State.
That's
JJ
right.
McCarthy will start game two against Hawaii.
Yep.
I I think if this plays out the way it's kind of portrayed, where they both kind of get one game that's their game, I think this is actually really smart. I've also heard the idea floated out that they might like that's just the guys that those are just the guys that take the first snap of each game, but they're still going to go back and forth each game. If that's the
Right.
way they do it, I sort of hate it. What do you
Yeah.
think?
No, agreement. We don't need to do what Spurrier was trying to do back in the day with the South Carolina quarterback situation, where guy has three bad series, then he pulls him and puts in another guy for two series, then pulls him. It's hard for rhythm, and rhythm matters,
Yeah,
especially with offense. I agree completely. If you're going to give a guy, give him a game, and then have the next guy go the next game. I hope that's how they handle it. We don't really know. We'll find out, I guess. Yeah, I feel confident about either quarterback, but McCarthy for sure is the guy that I think Michigan is rooting for. The coaching staff is hoping McCarthy
right.
just comes out and wins this job and makes that we don't have a quarterback debate, because McNamara won for him. McNamara
Sure.
won games for them last year and took them to a playoff and won the Big Ten, and it's hard just to throw that away. It really is, because he had results. So, but yeah, there's no doubt who they're rooting for. It's going to be interesting to watch. It's something to note. A lot of quarterback battles have been decided over the last 2 weeks, and this one here we're kind of just pushing pause on. We're just kind of shipping that one down. We'll see who starts week three. We don't really know. Someone might start week three, but we haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah. Is it kind of weird that I feel like okay, so the win total for them is 9.5 this year.
Yeah,
For me to feel the most comfortable about them just reaching 10 wins, I think I'd almost prefer Cade McNamara.
of course,
But
yes,
if I was a Michigan fan, for me to feel most comfortable about them actually repeating as Big Ten champs and going to the
yeah,
playoff, I would want the other guy, JJ McCarthy. Like to me, he's the guy with the higher ceiling, probably the lower floor too, just because he's younger. He's a redshirt freshman this year. Actually, did he play enough to burn a year of eligibility last year? I'm not sure. He's either a redshirt
I'm not
freshman or a
sure.
sophomore. Um, yeah, I think this is there's probably a little bit of we sort of want McCarthy to win this, so let's give them both a game, and it'll show that McCarthy is slightly better, so we can justify going with him, and we can say that we we gave them both a chance, and we went with the young talented guy. Like, what if it's 50-50? What if they play equally well? Like, do you go with the idea that you sort of have to play the young talented guy, or do you go with the idea that some people have that you can't unseat the starter until he's been outplayed?
I think Harbaugh is struggling with exactly that, because he knows that McNamara gets him 10 wins, and McCarthy might get him another Big Ten championship or a
Right.
playoff berth. McCarthy's your best chance at beating Michigan or beating Ohio State again next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then say you don't play him, transfer portal stuff anymore. Like, that
Yeah.
guy could be gone. Like, in some ways, you almost feel like you have to play him. But yeah, no, I understand what I think Harbaugh is thinking, and in that mind of his, he's trying to minimize mistakes, and there's no doubt about it. McCarthy's going to make more mistakes than McNamara right now, so it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be interesting if he comes out and throws some bombs, which he can do. McCarthy,
Yeah.
he's got a really good arm, and he's like a legit dual threat. So yeah, it'll be something just to keep an eye on. I think maybe more next week than this week. I think this week with Colorado State, I think McNamara is getting to start week one, was my understanding.
Right. Yes.
And I don't think there's much to learn from that. I think next week is the one where you really look at it a little closer.
Exactly. I think there is a world, and okay, I'm a Notre Dame fan. I always enjoy making fun of Michigan. I actually feel like there's a world where this works out very well compared to we've seen the type of thing before. I've seen it at Notre Dame where you're
Yeah,
playing two different quarterbacks in game one and just sort of feeling it out as you go along. Like, okay, this guy he struggled a little bit on this series. Now we're going to go to the other guy, and then
right,
he played
right.
pretty well. We'll put him back in the next series, and it's not good for either quarterback. That's just a tough situation to be in. I like the idea of having them both have a full game, like prepare for this opponent, and you're the guy this game. Make mistakes, because it doesn't matter. Like, we're going to win this game regardless. I think if that's the way they actually go with it, I think that's awesome. Like, to me, that feels like an excellent idea.